Hey guys, what's up? So a couple weeks ago, I made a video about perfection and the unrealistic expectations of culture, and if you want to see it, you can click right there. Thank you. But anyway, I wanted to make a video about a question that I got in the comments section. And I'm so glad that so many of you related, but it also made me really sad because it just reminded me of how none of us are immune to the standards of culture, and the feeling of being worthless or not measuring up is so common that it's so sad, but it's also so encouraging to know that you're not alone in that. One question that stood out in the comments was asking for practical advice for being more real and less fake. And I said this in my last video, I'll say it again now. I am no expert or person that thinks they have it all together. So don't hear that in anything I say in this video or in videos to come. But I fully plan on sharing my heart with you and being transparent, so you can be prepared for that. So we're going to start off going old school here and look at some definitions. The definition of fake is not genuine, counterfeit. The definition of real is not imitation or artificial, being precisely what the name implies. Authentic is true to one's personality, spirit, or character. There's something funny about the way we talk about authenticity. We want to learn authenticity. We want to react authentically. We treat being authentic as something to have as opposed to something that we are, which can actually keep us from developing the trait entirely because we're trying to attain something that by definition we already have. If we define authenticity as being true to yourself, then we shouldn't really have to look for it in the first place. If we're looking for it, then we've already lost it. And that's what we call the paradox of authenticity, okay? If you're trying to be authentic, you're not authentic. We have to start by understanding why authenticity is so important. If you think about the moments in life that were the most meaningful, you will always find a degree of realness. A heartfelt compliment, an honest job review, an actually enjoyable first date. All of these involve at least some degree of authenticity. The reason we recognize it is because we're primed to respond to it. And we're primed to respond to it authentically. So basically, we know it when we see it, right? And it feels good, it feels true. It feels like something real, which is why it resonates so strongly within us. If we put up with a world that is so often inauthentic, it's only because we've forgotten what true authenticity really feels like. It's tempting to forget, but being yourself and being around other people who are themselves is so much easier than pretending or putting on a mask to fit into the crowd. In fact, inauthenticity that makes pickup lines and memorized openers and typical responses, it makes it so attractive because these techniques seem easier until we discover that they only go so far. They break down as soon as a relationship demands true authenticity, at which point we realize how much easier it would have been if we had been authentic from the start. So on multiple levels, we crave realness. We want to be authentic. We want to be around authenticity, okay? And the more we try to be something else, what our parents told us we should be, what our job says we have to be, what other people think we should be, the more we desire to just be ourselves, right? Have you ever been there? Is it just me? I think this is a human thing. So I'm assuming that you have been in the same boat before. So if authenticity is something we all want, but it's impossible to have, and since it's something that you are and not something you can get, then authenticity must be impossible to teach, right? Teaching authenticity is like teaching someone how to be taller. It might even be worse because no one can fake being taller. I mean, you can wear heels, but you can't actually fake being taller, but you can definitely fake being authentic, and we do it all the time. So how can you be more authentic? That is the trap, because I'm sorry to break it to you, but you can't. However, what you can do is to stop being inauthentic. So if authenticity is the feeling of being your real self, then we can define inauthenticity as not being your real self. And this can take so many forms, like imitating those around you, acting like something you're not, or compromising something that you feel is right. You might recognize inauthenticity as kind of pretending. It comes along with feelings of deception and self-consciousness and the feeling that you have to keep up appearances. For many of us, it might describe who you are at work, or even worse, who you are in a relationship. And here's the thing, these patterns can become so ingrained in us that being authentic seems more uncomfortable than faking it. The moment you feel yourself being inauthentic, saying something you don't believe, pretending to feel or be something that you're not, there's nothing fun about pretending. And at the end of the day, you just want to get back to who you really are. This might all seem a little obvious, and it is, but this is where most people, even the people who are most committed to being authentic, get stuck. It's one thing to notice the tendency of being inauthentic. It's another thing entirely to admit that it's happening right now and to know that there is another way to be. And, I know it's hard, but you have to be willing to put that inauthenticity aside. And, dude, it's hard, okay? It's not easy. This is my cat. Hi. How you doing? We rely on our identities and our beliefs and our positions because they're comforting. They're familiar, and they allow us to navigate the world in a safe and predictable way. Putting them down would mean losing something that we've been using for probably a very long time. Here's the thing. Authenticity isn't the presence of something. It's the absence of everything that isn't authentic. You're not here to add anything to be authentic. You're here to take away anything that isn't real. Strip that stuff off because it is not necessary and not needed. So once you put aside inauthenticity, you only have one option, and that's to be yourself. And you have no other choice. And I know that that's a little scary, possibly a lot scary, but it's also really liberating. One of my favorite Oscar Wilde quotes says to be yourself because everybody else is already taken. I know that this was a lot to take in, and I can answer comments down in the comments or maybe in a future vlog. So thank you for watching this video. If you got all the way to the end, I'm so impressed. Thank you for sticking it out with me, and my closing note is this song. When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. So I hope that some of this resonated with you. I hope that some of it hit home. And if it did, please comment below, because we're all trying to just figure this life out together. And if we can do it by helping each other, hey, why not? So check out my Instagram. I try to put encouraging, uplifting stuff on there, so maybe something there will really speak to you. I would love that, because that's the only reason that I do any of this stuff, is to bring people to realize who they are, not just by their face and not by their body and not by anything that they wear, but who they are inside, who your soul is, because that is what truly counts. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a really good rest of your week, okay? I'll talk to you later. Bye.